All right, today's video is our latest episode of the Executive Search Sit Down, and for this series we invite fellow peers who are navigating the recruiting and executive search landscape. We find out about their backgrounds and we unpack their tools and strategies for recruiting top talent and how they deliver value for their customers in their specific niche industries. We also discuss trends and provide advice that they'd like to pass along to fellow recruiters. So on today's episode, we sit down with Ryan McGushin, who discusses how he got started in the industry and highlights the importance of building long-term relationships with your clients and your candidates. So we really think you're going to enjoy this episode with Ryan McGushin, so let's get into it. All right, everyone, welcome to the Executive Search Sit Down. Today is the latest episode. We're sitting down with Ryan McGushin. Ryan, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. It's been awesome to see what you've done with the Nenni and Associates video channel thus far. So, yeah, honored to be on here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And once we air this one, I think our channel is just going to take off with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of new subscribers and viewers to our channel. Once they hear about the message that Ryan McGushin's about to deliver.
I would anticipate that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So since we're going to be having hundreds of thousands of listeners and subscribers to this, Ryan, tell us about your background.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I grew up in a suburban Chicago area, still live in the western suburbs of Chicago with my wife, Haley. We have a 6-month-old son, and actually attended Northern Illinois University, NIU.
Go Huskies.
Exactly. Just like many of us Nenni and Associates employees here, if not all of us, or close to. But yeah, so I found Nenni and Associates when I was a junior at NIU, and it actually started out as just an internship program, and thought I could get some business experience and maybe make some cold calls and kind of see where it went. And yeah, now been at Nenni and Associates 7.5 years. It's kind of funny when you look back at starting out just as an internship opportunity, not really knowing what to expect. And now obviously an industry I've developed a lot of passion for. And it's been cool to see Nenni and Associates grow incrementally over the past 7 years or so too.
Yeah, and you've had to put up with all the cast of characters that work at Nenni and Associates, myself included. So yeah. I think that says a lot about your 7.5 years here. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about some of the clients that you work with and kind of the industry that you focus on.
Yeah. So we're absolutely an industry-specific search firm. We really focus in building efficiency and energy services, and really within that, I guess you could put a lot of different categories. We do a lot of work in the mechanical and electrical contracting space. Do a lot of work with like building automation integrators, renewable energy as well. I'd say myself, among a couple other people here, we do a lot of work in the lighting and electrical contracting world, probably more than anything. And, within that, the positions could really be across the board, sales, engineering, operations, all the way up to true executive level searches as well.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned some of those positions that you're filling. Let's say there's a candidate out there, a salesperson, a project manager, an engineer in the lighting, electrical space, or anything within building and energy efficiency. Let's say they're watching this, they're listening to this somewhere. What message would you want to deliver to them?
Yeah. And just generally speaking, I think it's very advantageous to at least have an open line of communication with a recruiter. And that doesn't mean you need to go on an interview every 6 months or every year. But there's a lot of valuable information you could gather from taking calls like ourselves, whether it's market trends, you can get some insight on a competitor. And ultimately, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in your current situation. I think, you could tell a lot of people have been uncertain. A lot of people have been laid off due to COVID here the last few months. So having that open line of communication with somebody you trust, especially in a recruiting function, is very advantageous.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other side, you mentioned some of the types of clients that you work with. Let's say they're listening to this, they're watching this. What message would you want to deliver to either your current clients or potential prospects that are out there today?
Right. And there is a lot of recruiting companies out there. I think that's fairly known. It's a competitive market. what I would say is, one, work with a firm that you trust, that's proven and established, and not just one-man shop out of the basement of their house. And also I think it's pretty important to work with a firm that really knows your industry. A firm that knows your industry could cut down time on a search process tremendously if they're not completely starting from scratch. Maybe they already have an existing network, but more than anything, they could talk the language appropriately to the market. And also, you got to keep in mind, they're representing your company and having a lot of conversations oftentimes. And you want that message that they're portraying to the market to be positive. So yeah, use somebody you trust, maybe somebody you've met face-to-face. Nenni and Associates, we love getting out to trade shows and meeting clients as much as we can. So, taking advantage of that and developing that relationship with a recruiting company, be super helpful for your organization in the long run.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll get back on the trade show circuit, right? I think everything post-COVID, right? Once everything starts to even out here, I think we'll get back at some of these industry trade shows. So, Ryan, part of the what's that?
I hope so. Yeah, it's been we could knock out a lot of different meetings at those types of shows, and yeah, they're super helpful. So yeah, kind of miss it. Need to get out and start meeting people.
Yeah, without a doubt. So part of the show here, the executive search sit down, we're really just focused on elevating the profession of recruiting and executive search. Now, for the last part of the show here, Ryan, I wanted to ask you a question about specific advice that you would give to any new recruiter. Let's say somebody who just is starting out, or maybe they're even considering getting into the executive recruiting or the recruiting profession. What advice would you give to someone like that?
Yeah, probably a couple things. One, build your network as deep and as quick as you possibly can. And don't only rely on LinkedIn and digital marketing. I think there's a lot of value in personal touch and having a phone conversation and meeting somebody face-to-face. A lot of stuff is done virtually today, but I think you still got to go back to the roots of meeting people and developing that relationship as best as possible. And other than that, I would say, if you're struggling or starting off, don't force it. There's a lot of times you could start a search and find the rock star candidate who's interested in leaving, but the reason why he's leaving may not line up with the opportunity that's presented at hand. So I think part of our position as a third-party recruiting company is to save our clients time and save our candidates time. And I guess you could say save our time. Save our time is valuable too. So matching candidates with clients that don't have what you would say, Jim, the congruency can oftentimes be a waste. So yeah, I'd say don't force it. Narrowing in on finding the right candidates for your clients without pushing too hard, is some additional advice I'd pass along.
All right. Well, I think that's great advice. Hopefully people are taking notes and writing this down. So Ryan, we appreciate you taking the time here, man. And we'll let you run. We'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Thanks, Jim.
All right.
All right.
So that's it for today's video. We hope you're getting value out of this content. And if you are, be sure to subscribe to our channel and share with a friend or a colleague. And also, if you have ideas for future video topics, please drop those in the comments below. I really would love to hear from you. So until next time, I'm Jim Schaefer, and we'll catch you on the next episode.